This video, I'm going to have a look at one of the issues Revit's had and still has, and that is how to deal with handing when we mirror an object, such as a window. In this situation, is what I'm going to have a look at. This is also an issue, and I'll do perhaps another video later on with mechanical equipment when you mirror or switch the handing of mechanical equipment. But today we're going to have a look at just Windows as an example. So in this situation here, I'm just going to go ahead and place a few windows. Just as I've done there. Now, windows can be mirrored in many ways, and in fact, one of the ways that a window can be mirrored is when somebody places it so that the arrow, if you like, or the exterior of the window is actually on the interior side of the wall. And they'll use the flip arrows like that to flip it around. And you can see there that that has in fact mirrored the handing. Of course, we can also mirror a window by doing something like that. And of course, finally, if people have selected even the window and the wall and then used the mirror command, I'm just doing it for the window itself at the moment, but mirroring that window like this, and you can see that it shows up mirrored. Why is that an issue? Well, when we're ordering the windows from the manufacturer, our descriptive schedule, such as this schedule here, does not necessarily know whether those, what handing, if you like, those windows are. So that can be a real problem. And then in addition to that, we may want to go and actually create a graphical schedule as well. And typically, if we've done a graphical schedule using a legend, the legend just allows us to schedule the types or place the types. It doesn't allow us to get the instance information out of it. So that can be things like head heights and that sort of thing. So maybe rather than just getting the types, we'd rather actually do a graphical window schedule of every window. So I'm just going to jump back to this window schedule here. The other thing that is problematic with Revit is the ability to deal with text. So typically a window, this window here, for example, would be labeled as a 1812 window. It takes the first two digits of a 4-digit string. So I guess that would cause an issue potentially if we were a 900 window or something like that. But we can, once again, we can actually deal with that. And the way we're going to do that is using these awesome CTC tools. And the primary tool that I'm going to use to deal with our schedule is the Spreadsheet link. Now, you may be familiar with tools like this, such as BIMlink, but if you haven't had a look at the CTC Spreadsheet link, I would strongly recommend you do that, and I think you'll see why as we go through this process. It has heaps more power to it. So down here, I'm just going to go to my schedules. So I'm going to effectively look at schedules, and I can bring schedules across here, and then it's bringing all that information. Now, I actually have this already preloaded, so I'm going to go load from file, and we'll just load that particular file there, and it actually does the same thing, brings the schedule across, but it actually brings across another parameter, and you can see we've got different parameters in here that are not accessible through the normal Revit schedules, and one of those is this mirrored one here. So this particular settings dialog is also linked to a already created Excel file which has some calculations in it, and I've highlighted those calculations red. Now you'll notice this matches identically the schedule that we have set up here. The reasons for that are so that the calculations work, and you can see the calculation there, so I can select that, place that in here, and then drag that down, and you can see the handing is automatically adjusted depending on whether it's mirrored or not. Likewise, this here, you can see we've done a few concatenates, and that is driving the length of that window there for us. So once again, if I copy that to my clipboard, paste that in, and I can drag that down. So it's giving us all those different window sizes. All right, so that's great. I can now go apply on that, apply the active worksheet. And in fact, that'll have updated our schedule there. But what I wanted to do as well is in here, I wanted to say that this is a sliding window style, and fill that down. I'll apply that again. And if I jump out of that, so you can see very quickly we've updated this whole window schedule, giving us the actual ordering sizes, if you like, for the manufacturer. We've got what the handing is, and window style, etc. So that's, to me, that's a pretty big achievement. So the next thing I want to do is have a look then about what we can do with a graphical window schedule. So I've just jumped to my 3D view here, and we're going to use these fab sheets. So with the fab sheets, and I've already got some settings built up for this, so I'm not going to go over that. I just really want to show you the quick end result. So basically we've got this window here, and I'm just going to select on that, and I've said this sequence is the east facing windows. So what I need to do is just assign the elements. All right, so I'm just going to select that window there, and then that window there. All right, and that finishes that process off, and then I'm going to do it for these north facing windows as well. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to come over to my view creation here, and I'll just sort them out like this. And you can see, first of all, I'm going to create some scope boxes. So I'll select all, and we'll create our scope boxes. And you can see largely the scope box is good. We might need to make a few adjustments on those, particularly on these east-facing walls here. I'll set that sequence again. Then what I want to do is we're going to have a look at first of all, our north elevations. So I'm going to select all of these windows now. We're going to create views that give us our plan view and our north elevation. So just hit this to create those views there. And off it goes and creates those. And then I want to do the east also. But before I do that, I'll set north to 0 and east to 1. Because it's the east direction that we'll be looking at. Go ahead and create those as well. So that's now done. If I go and have a look at these windows, and once again, as I mentioned, the scope box is a little bit out there. So what I will want to do, that one I don't actually need anymore. In fact, it's probably better if I just do this. I'll just do this from the top view here. Set it to wireframe, so you can see here we can, those windows are actually good. This one here, I'll unpin that and make it a bit bigger. And likewise with this one here. All right, with that done, you'll have a look and see now that these are looking good. All right, and of course I can now tag these windows, and I've actually built up a view template that automatically gets applied that has turned the walls off in elevation here. But you can see I can tag that window, I can dimension it. All right. And then we can come to our sheet, and now we can start placing these on our sheet. So drag this one over, place that. And in fact, I'll just drag a few of them over here to start off with, like that. The east one, I'll do that. That's going to look a little bit different. And this east one here as well. So with the, did I not quite get that? There we go. So with this this east, and what I'd probably do here is I'd select all of those, go no line, grab this one, and say rotate counterclockwise. All right, now we can obviously use a lot of detail lines in here if we want to build up a nice graphical schedule. In fact, we could have our title block already set up with that. And as I mentioned, we've got our dimensions and all that sort of stuff done in the views, but clearly now we can fairly quickly go ahead and actually create that graphical window schedule for every instance of the window, not just the particular type, the particular window type that you get out of a legend type, legend view. So some pretty powerful tools there that help us achieve things that has been lacking in Revit, I think, for quite some time.